Have you ever noticed how your mind can build entire worlds from nothing but a thought and then trap you inside them? Why is it that we can feel fear so deeply even when nothing has actually happened? What if the biggest enemy you've been trying to outrun is just a story your own mind keeps repeating? We all know the feeling. Lying in bed at night, the room is quiet, your body's still, but your thoughts won't stop moving. They spin scenarios, predict disasters, and whisper, "What if?" in a loop until sleep feels impossible. You haven't failed, you haven't lost anything, and yet, fear grips you as if the worst has already happened. Why do we do this to ourselves? Here's the truth. Worry is a liar. It doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you stuck. It wraps around you like a fog, clouding your clarity, draining your joy, and freezing your steps before you even take them. Buddhism doesn't teach us to fight this fog with force. It teaches us to see through it, to recognize that most of what we fear never actually becomes real. Because the problem isn't life itself. The problem is the story our mind tells about it. In this video, we're going to walk through 7 powerful Buddhist lessons that can help you stop worrying and finally start living with clarity, calm, and confidence. Because peace isn't found in having everything figured out. It's found in a trained mind, one that knows how to stay steady, even when the winds of life are strong. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Name the beast to tame it. The first step to overcoming worry is not pushing it away, it's facing it head on. That means naming it, giving it form, understanding what it really is. Buddhism teaches us that our thoughts and emotions aren't chaotic forces we're helpless against. They only feel that way when we leave them undefined, lurking in the shadows of uncertainty. And worry thrives in the dark. It loves the unknown. That's where it grows. But when you name your worry, you shine a light on it. You expose it. And when that happens, it shrinks like a monster under the bed that turns out to be just a pile of clothes. Worry becomes far less terrifying once you see it clearly. Is it fear of failure, fear of rejection, doubt about your ability? When you give it a name, you take away its mystery. Suddenly, it's no longer some vague, haunting presence. It's a thought, and a thought is something you can understand and even change. This is where the shift begins. Instead of spiraling into anxiety, you pause. You ask, what am I really afraid of? Is this real, or just a story I've repeated too many times? The moment you ask the question, the spell begins to break. You step out of panic and into perspective. Practice this. Next time you feel overwhelmed by a wave of worry, stop, breathe, ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of right now? Is this something I can name? Is it true, or is it just an echo of fear pretending to be truth? Once you've named it, you'll find it easier to deal with, piece by piece. And slowly, worry starts to lose its grip. Lesson 2. Don't believe every thought you think. Not every thought is true. Not every worry is wise. But our minds, tricky as they are, often treat every thought like fact. In Buddhism, we're reminded, your mind is a storyteller, not a prophet. It throws out ideas, predictions, fears, and judgments, constantly. Some are helpful, most are not, and yet we often act like the gospel. The problem begins when we believe our thoughts without question. When a fearful thought pops up, I'm going to fail, or they're going to judge me, we treat it as truth, and in doing so, we let that thought dictate how we feel and how we live. But the truth is, the mind tends to exaggerate. It gravitates toward worst-case scenarios, ignoring the likelihood of more balanced outcomes. Have you ever thought, what if everything goes wrong? But what if it doesn't? What if some things go right, or even better than you imagined? These are just stories. Stories don't need to become your reality. Buddhist mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts without identifying with them. To step back, watch them pass, and remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. Just like clouds floating across the sky, they come and go. You don't chase them, you don't fight them, you simply notice. Practice this. Next time a worried thought grabs you, stop and question it. Ask, is this true? Do I have proof? Have I felt this before? And did the worst actually happen? You'll be surprised at how many of your fears are built on nothing but assumption and repetition. When you question your thoughts, you stop giving them control. Lesson 3. Do what you can, then let go. So much of our worry comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. We obsess over outcomes, over people's reactions, over things far outside our influence. But Buddhism teaches a powerful distinction. Focus on what's within your control and release the rest. That doesn't mean you give up. It means you do your part, fully, intentionally, and then you breathe. You trust. Worrying about tomorrow won't change tomorrow. It only steals your energy from today. Let go of the idea that you can solve everything by thinking harder. The truth is, most of life is uncertain, and that's okay. The peace comes not from certainty, but from learning how to be calm in the face of it. Try this. When something is bothering you, pause and ask, what's one small thing I can do right now to help? Take that step, then stop. Don't keep turning it over in your head. You've done what you can. Let the rest unfold as it will. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough to protect your energy, your clarity, your peace. So far, you've learned how to name your fears, question your thoughts, and release what you can't control. But worry is persistent, and sometimes it sneaks back in. In the next part of this video, we'll explore how to set boundaries around worry and how movement can clear the fog from your mind. Let's continue. Earlier, we explored how what we do can shift worry through naming it, questioning it, moving through it. But now, we turn to something just as important, what we allow into our minds. Because if worry is a fire, then our thoughts are the fuel. It's easy to forget, but every day you are feeding your mind something. The question is, are you feeding it panic or peace? Worry often begins as the single whisper, a quiet what if. Left unchecked, it grows. One small anxious thought becomes a thread, and if we keep pulling it, soon we're tangled in fear, doubt, and dread. That's how worry works. It multiplies in silence and thrives in negativity. And just like the body weakens with junk food, the mind suffers when we consume fear. The more you surround yourself with negativity, media headlines, stressful conversations, critical inner dialogue, the more you train your mind to live in fight or flight mode. But what if, instead of feeding your mind with panic, you chose to feed it peace? This is where Buddhist wisdom shines. It teaches us mindfulness, the practice of noticing what's entering your awareness and consciously choosing what to focus on. Because what you allow to occupy your mental space becomes the atmosphere of your inner world. Just as you wouldn't eat rotten food, why consume faults that rot your peace? Instead, imagine nourishing your mind the same way you'd care for a garden, with calm, steady, life-giving input, uplifting books, soothing music, affirmations that remind you of your strength, conversations that restore, not deplete, moments of silence that reset your spirit. Because here's the truth: what you feed your mind is what you become. If you're constantly surrounded by content that triggers fear, your mental baseline will be anxiety. But if you consciously choose to surround yourself with wisdom, positivity, and calm, your mind will begin to reflect that same peace. And this goes beyond just social media or news. It includes the inner dialogue that runs through your head all day. How often do you tell yourself you're falling behind, that you're not good enough, that something bad is bound to happen? These thoughts, quiet but relentless, are like junk food for the soul. They don't nourish you, they deplete you, and worse, they start to feel like truth. But you can change this. You can feed your mind differently. Feeding your mind peace doesn't mean denying problems or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on what brings gratitude, clarity, and calm, rather than on fear and chaos. It means waking up and deciding, today, I choose to think thoughts that lift me. I choose to listen to voices that calm me. I choose to believe in my strength. Daily habits matter. Maybe it's 5 minutes of meditation, a walk without your phone, repeating an affirmation like, I am capable, I am calm, I am grounded. Even the smallest ritual can slowly rewire your mind to expect peace instead of panic. Start paying attention to the things you consume. Ask yourself, is this nourishing me or disturbing me? Is this helping me grow or keeping me stuck? The shift doesn't happen overnight, but with time, your mental landscape will change. Like cleaning out a cluttered room and letting the light back in. And here's something else you might need to hear. You've already survived every difficult moment of your life. Take that in. Every time you thought you couldn't handle something, you did. Every fear that felt paralyzing passed. Every storm that once felt endless ended. And yet, we still let worry convince us that we won't survive the next one. Why? Buddhism reminds us of a core truth: impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. Not joy, not pain, not fear. Every emotion rises and eventually fades. Every season turns. When you feel overwhelmed by what might come, pause and remember, you've been here before, and you made it through. You've faced fear, you've sat in uncertainty, you felt broken, and still woke up again. That's not weakness, That's resilience. And every hardship you've overcome has made you stronger. So when worry visits again, as it will, meet it not with panic, but with remembrance. Say to yourself, this is fear, but I have faced fear before. I am still here, I am still breathing, and I am stronger now than I've ever been. Take a few moments to reflect on all you've overcome. Write down 5 things you once thought you couldn't get through, but did. Let those memories anchor you. Let them remind you that your strength is real, earned, and already within you. The more you revisit that truth, the easier it is to face new fears with confidence. Worry doesn't disappear forever, but it loses its power when you stop letting it define you. When you stop running and start observing. And that's what this entire journey has been about. Not escaping worry, but understanding it, naming it, questioning it, moving through it, letting go of what you can't control. Replacing fear with action, replacing noise with silence, replacing panic with peace. This is the heart of Buddhist wisdom. That peace doesn't come when life is perfect. It comes when the mind is trained. And the mind is trained through practice. So next time worry knocks, pause, breathe, remember what you've already survived, and remind yourself, you're not powerless. You're practiced. You have tools. You have strength. You have peace within reach. If this video brought you clarity, even for a moment, I invite you to stay connected. Like, share, and subscribe for more mindful teachings and calming reflections. You never know. The next message may be the one that shifts your whole day. Until then, take a deep breath, trust yourself, and let peace lead the way.